Well, it's another cold, cold morning here in Iowa. And we need to feed the chickens. We've wrapped the run in plastic, and then the hen house is, we put moving blankets around it. My water kept freezing up, so I went and I got a new one. It's amazing that, the simplest designs work the best. You quit picking on me. Ow! Well, there's one. Nothing over there. You gotta check the corners. Well, I had to take the egg inside and grab my coffee. But what are we going to get into today? Well, first of all, big news. I got a new camera stand. So hopefully it works better. The old one I have is just about had it. So where we left off was so I started putting the knuckle on the passenger side. Torque for the top nut for the ball joint is supposed to be 100 foot-pounds minimum. Ooh, that's kind of what you're going for. I think we're going to call it good. So while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and get these greased. Should go find my other one here. I mean, are you really any kind of man if you don't have at least 2 grease guns? Oh, she's coming out. That didn't take too much. We got the power steering lines in. We got the sway bar in. We had to fab up those brackets. And I jacked this whole thing up so it's a little bit further off the ground, so I'm not working on my hands and knees, on these spindles and stuff like that. So, we got the brake lines in too, all the hard lines, and we got the soft lines in on the front. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. Off camera, I got the half shafts cleaned up, painted, and they're ready for U-joints to be reinstalled in them. I also am getting the bearings ready to go back in the hub, and we got seals and stuff like that. So I need to clean up a few parts, and for my greasy parts, I really like using, well, I don't like using it, but what works really well is this parts washer. I've added a heater, so you can buy these tank heaters. I don't know, they're like 20, 25 bucks off of Amazon. And as long as you don't keep them in the tank when you're not using them, they will last quite a while. If you keep them in the tank, the corrosiveness of the degreaser that you use is pretty hard on them. But it does work pretty good, because if you can get your degreaser, which I use Purple Power for a very specific reason, because it's cheap. If you can get it warm, and that heater gets it up to it gets it pretty warm, like 130, 140 degrees. Where warm enough where you got to be cautious about getting it on your hands, but because it will scald you. But it works pretty good because it helps dissolve that grease off of there. For the front wheel bearings, I'm reusing the ones that are in it because they're just fine. And at least two of them are Timkins. The other two, these two are Timkins. One is a no name, which that's great. And the inner one is, I don't know, it says made in Germany. And Germany makes great stuff, right? So it's got to be good. And I did also upgrade. Dang it, stay there. Yeah. Excuse me. I got this brush with the fluid that runs through it, and I very much enjoy it as opposed to it had like the nozzle on it before. So I don't know if what I just said made any sense. So one thing I'm going to have to finally address is this front carrier for the front axle. I got to get it cleaned. It is the greasiest thing I got left. And unfortunately, it was sitting right underneath, I don't know, probably a power steering, an oil leak. That whole front cross member and everything in the front of the Bronco was very, very greasy. To the point, to get this cleaned, I'm going to throw it in the hot tank over there. And to do that, I've got to get this half shaft out of there. And I'll show you how to do that. So this is obviously the carrier for the front. And this half shaft is like your traditional axle. It's held in there by a C-clip. Now the other side doesn't have one because it just slides in there and is held on by the splines. But in order to get this guy out, you have to pull this C-clip. So what you got to do, and I hope you can see that. So that's the end of our half shaft here. We need to rotate that around. Well, actually, it was right where it needed to be. So we can get to the end of that. And most of the time, these pull right out. And this one's going to prove me wrong. There it comes. Just like that. That's your little C-clip. Don't lose that. But now that should pull right out. Just like that. But let's go drop this in the hot tank. Oh my God, that's heavy. I mean, that's got to weigh. I don't know how much that weighs. It's lighter, I can tell you that much. It's lighter than the. Oh, there it goes. Trying not to drop it. It's lighter than the Dana 50, I can tell you that much. So yeah, we're just going to let that soak and I'll kind of flip it. Get all the sides. You can see all that grease on there. It'll start to break it down. See, it's already coming off kind of nice. Well, got the parts pulled out of the parts washer. And I can't believe how nice that carrier cleaned up. I mean, there's a lot of, there's still the factory markings on this. So just like everything I've kind of gotten into on this Bronco, it's been in really good shape. It's high miles, but really, really good shape. The bearings are cleaned up. These are those Timkins. They're in really good shape. Everybody's so fired up to replace bearings. And there's really no reason to replace them unless they're worn out. And it's got wear on it, but it's not like there's grooves in anything. It hasn't been overheated. It's just in good shape. Well, it has been dropped. It looks like somebody dropped it there. I don't know if you can see that. But as long as the tapers still spin and everything. And it's a Timken. I mean, these Timkens, they're really good. You know, I don't know. That Timken is so much smoother. And then this one here, this one has no markings, no labels, no nothing on it. Not too bad though. So we're going to run them. And then this guy here, so we got new seals to put in it. And again, that's about all I'm going to do. I'll paint it obviously, but that's about it. This is ready to go. So another thing we can do here is this is the spindle off of the side here. This fits inside the hub. And then your axle shaft fits in here, and then that engages with your lockout, and that's what actually engages your actual wheel hub. So another bearing that I can almost assure you has never been changed is this little needle bearing that's inside the spindle. And it's cheap, and once you have it figured out how to change those, it's relatively simple. Now you can go buy one of those special pullers that is real narrow and can fit in there. I made my own chisel, not chisel, but punch. So if you can see there, this has just been ground out, and then a lip is on it, so I can get it in there. So I don't know, hopefully you can see that. Can you see how that engages? And you can get behind that bearing and drive it out. I mean, if you're not making tools, are you even a car guy? Oh, and by the way, when I built this, I heated this up when I got it all cut down to where I wanted it. And then I dumped it, I got it red cherry hot, and dunked it in some oil to help harden that. See? And there you go. Yeah, you can't even, those don't even spin. They do a little bit. Granted, I've been beating on it with a punch too, so. Never throw your bearings away, especially your races, because you can use them to press that back in. But let me get that little kit out. So I bought this little kit. It has all the seals and bearings for the spindle and the axle shaft. Here's your new bearing with, you know, needle bearings that actually spin. And so we'll go. Now you could drive this back in. You know, you could use that, drive that back in. But I have a press, so I'm going to use it. So we'll just get this in here. That's a little too big, but it'll get us started. I'm going to put just a little bit of grease, just a little bit of grease in here to help it get going. Now we'll use this big socket. It's a little bit too big, but we're just going to get it started. Shouldn't go in too hard. And I've got a bearing driver tool thing that would probably be smarter and wiser to use, but it's hard to beat a good socket. So yeah, you just push it in until it gives you a little bit of resistance. Just like that. But there you go. They turn and everything. Now, I'm sure you've noticed in the background, I'm painting a lot of parts purple. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not my first choice. But as I explained in a previous video, this is not going to be a car necessarily for me. I am building this for my wife. The overall color of it is not going to be purple. I can assure you of that. I'm not going to reveal the color right yet because, for one thing, we haven't made 110% a final decision on it. It's coming, but we have to decide whether or not we're going to go with the theme that we're going with. This is a contrast color, but it is the color of the Bronco is going to be a color that goes very well with purple. And we're trying to keep with the 90s theme. Now, this is a 1990 Bronco. And for those of you that weren't around in that era, you got to keep in mind the colors were crazy in the late 80s and the early 90s. I'm talking purple and baby blue, mauve, teals were really popular, greens were really popular, all kinds of stuff like that. And we're trying to stick with it. And this is going to be, I think this is really going to be a head turner. If I can get my body work locked down to where I can get this straight enough that it's going to look good. I'm not the best at body work. I improve on every vehicle that I do, but yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool at the end of the day. And it's for my wife. As long as she's happy, I'm happy. I mean, happy wife, happy life. Okay. Well, we need to address the ball joints for the driver's side steering knuckle. Now, I've got this all cleaned up. It's been through the sandblaster, and I've just got it's coated in self-etching primer. So this process, it's pretty straightforward. The big thing is you have to have the tool to do this. This is a ball joint service kit. This one's a Maddox. It's obviously from Harbor Freight. You can rent these at like any of your auto part places. Yeah. This is kind of what it consists of. You got the press part, which is basically just the big C clamp. Then you've got different cups and things like that too. Actually do the physical pressing of it, removing the ball joint or pressing them back in. And that's basically what these are. These are pressed in. And I'll show you with the new ones what it kind of looks like. Okay, so I moved this around a little bit. You're at a little bit different angle, but I think it's going to help. I can't turn the vise anymore, but there's this lock ring right here that needs to come off. And it's been on there for a few years, so it's going to need a little bit of help. So hopefully I can get in here and kind of show you how I loosen these up. Just a little punch. And you get in there and you take your snap ring pliers. And just like that, I even got it off in one piece. Now, if these are really, really bad, you have to chisel the whole thing out. It's kind of a pain because they usually break. But yeah, so that one came out pretty easy. And that's okay, just moved you around to the other side here. So hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. So yeah, now we got to find the appropriate parts to press these out. So I've moved you around. This is the lower ball joint, and it's got to press out towards you. So we're going to use this cup on the inside, and it's got a relief so the stud can come up through, and then you just use the tool itself. Okay, so you can kind of see how I got it set up there. We're pushing it out this way, and then you have to have space for that stud to come through, and then the cup here to allow room for the ball joint itself to come up through. So I don't know if using the impact is the proper way to do this, but it's the way I do it. Just like that. But here's where it kind of gets a little tricky. You got to kind of think about this. And again, you just put the Captain Caveman on there. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure why, but apparently I forgot to hit record when I pressed that one in, so that's nice. For those of you that are wondering, you have to put this tool in like this, and this has to go through there. So you have to put the top ball joint in first. Otherwise, you'll be pressing that one back out again. So there you go. That's lined up. You put your Captain Caveman on it. Battery about dead, yeah. Oh, it's always something. Okay, there it stopped. You can see that groove is right there. We've got plenty of room to put our snap ring in. So like I was saying, the top ball joint also has a snap ring, but it's not used in this application. Just like that. Now you can put your grease zerk in. It's not a zert, it's a zerk. Okay, well, while I was editing here, I realized I did not do an outro for this video. So to kind of bring you up to speed, I went ahead and I installed the steering knuckle. That's the driver's side one after I got it all painted up and everything. We've basically got the front end complete. I'm trying to streamline my editing and my content a little bit. I think I'm going to try to keep my videos between 20 and 30 minutes as opposed to, like 45 minutes to an hour. That's a long time for stuff like that. And please let me know in the comments if you think that's better or if it's worse. I appreciate everybody watching the videos. I'm always up for some constructive criticism. Don't be afraid. And yeah, give me a comment, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So, but that's it for this one. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.